What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. Yeah. Let's go. Howdy, Josh. What's going on, man? It is December 28th, 2021, 10:38 p.m. on the West Coast. Wherever you are, wherever you may be, whatever you are up to, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Look at you. It is so good to see you. So good to see you. Why is it, though? And I'm not seeing. Is it that slow? I don't know. Member for 2 months. Look at all these members. Why is it not showing up on my screen, though? Are we looking at the same stuff? I don't know if we are. Here, hold on. 2.0. 2.0. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Did you change your hair again? Absolutely not. I got a haircut, but I didn't change my hair. It's a little late in life to do that, don't you think? Thank you for all the man, 2 months. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome. Welcome. How is everybody? Doing well, I hope. And looks like the Dawn Circus is back in town. It's a traveling circus. It travels from drug den to drug den, apparently. Crack house to crack house. And he is just on a roll. Once again, the media tour, Ziggy held back a phone call that she had with Don. Don Wells, the father of missing 5, almost 6-year-old Summer Wells. Summer Wells has been missing for over 6 months. And it doesn't seem as though anybody in their family cares. There are other people who have missing relatives who search every single weekend. I can't remember the last weekend Don and Candace decided to search. Welcome, new member. Thank you so much. A Wrinkle in Crime. I like that name. When was the last time they searched? I don't know. And I don't know when the last time they searched, but what they do have time for is an inordinate amount of phone conversations and phone calls with people like, I don't know, they'll talk to anybody. Well, Don will. Don will talk to anybody, but one of the things that stood out the most to me so he was on, so Ziggy had a phone call from him that she played last night. And then Molly Golightly talks to him today. And he goes on this just tirade of, profanity filled, inward this, inward that, similar to what he's done to me in the past, to Ziggy. It's just kind of how obviously he talks. And I don't take any offense I mean, it's just whatever at this point. He's off his rocker. He's lost it. He's losing it. And I don't exactly know what his involvement in Summer disappearing is, but what I do know is the way that he is acting is not proper in any way, shape, or form. And it's the phone call between him and Ziggy was disturbing, to say the least. And when I say disturbing, I mean disturbing. And I'm not going to replay it because I don't want to give that asshole anymore. I don't want his voice in my head anymore. I listen to the things that he says enough audibly. If you want to go listen to it, go check out Ziggy's stream from yesterday. I'm sure it'll cheer you right up. But we could talk about it. I have no problem talking about it. It is just something is horribly wrong. We've known that for some time, and we're not going to get any more help from these folks. Not that we've gotten any. Anyway, Don claims that he went and took out because FBI agents or TBI agents were following him, 4 or 5. I don't know if that's true. It's completely possible. Why wouldn't they be? I mean, his daughter's missing under suspicious circumstances. And what he says is to prove that he didn't sell his daughter. Don says to prove that he didn't sell his daughter, that he went and took $2,000 cash out of the bank, drove to Knoxville, bought $2,000 worth of crack cocaine that he claims that he did not, partake in, but that he passed it out like a crack fairy. He went around passing out crack to just random people for 2 days in Knoxville. That's what he said. To prove to law enforcement that he doesn't need to sell his daughter for drugs, that he can afford said drugs all on his lonesome. And I don't know how many crackheads, and I guess we could consider Don Wells a crackhead. I don't know how many of them pass out free drugs. I'm not saying that they wouldn't do them with somebody, but what this man is claiming, if I'm picking up the cards that he's laying down, is that this man claims that he drove to Knoxville with $2,000, bought $2,000 worth of crack cocaine, and then passed the crack cocaine out to prove to TBI that he didn't sell his daughter. Oh, man, shut the case down. Just shut it. We're done here. Don, you're off the list. You passed a lie detector. Oh, my God. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? I mean, seriously, guys. And he's claiming that the FBI is watching him the whole time. And I just sit back and go, my God in heaven, that is the father of a missing 5-year-old girl. It's worse than, it just gets worse and worse and worse by the day. Come on. Don, come on, Don. It's enough. It's enough. Grow up. It's time to take some responsibility because you don't take any. Then he goes on another creator show today. He's on another show, just bumping his gums. Talking about this and that, and apparently Don Wells has redefined the N-word. He somehow has infiltrated. Somehow he has infiltrated the Urban Dictionary and 300 or 400 years of culture and history. Single-handedly has reclaimed the word that he loves so dear. Ask him about it, not me. So now what we're dealing with is not only are we dealing with a man who passes out thousands of dollars worth of crack cocaine in Knoxville, Tennessee, in front of FBI agents, but now we're dealing with somebody who has redefined the English language and the definition of a word that has been the same since it was invented, used to disparage an entire race of humans. But it's okay because Don Wells saved the word. It's his word. It's he's allowed to just freely say it. And I have a major problem with people who put this man on a platform while he continuously over and over and over and over uses those hateful words. And he's allowed to keep saying it with it just at nauseum. Oh God, he said it. Come on now. Come on. Should be kicked off the air. Anybody that puts up with that should be booted. It's not right. It's not right. And you just look, if he wants to talk but I mean, the guy is literally spitting filth. It's just filth. And of course we eat it up because we want to see what's going on. But at the same time, you have Don just he's unapologetic about the way that he talks. He makes excuses for it. But all this time, he's got a daughter missing. So he's got time to go pass out crack cocaine in a neighboring town, but he doesn't have time to organize a search. He's too busy passing out crack. And Don, I know you watch these shows. I know you watch my show. And I'm sure you'll hear this and you'll get mad at me. And I hope you do. Because you're a disgrace. It's worse than I thought. There are times where I would go back and forth and go, God, I don't know if he has anything to do with this or not. I don't know if he has anything to do with this or not. I certainly hope not. I certainly hope he does not. And I'm just, please, Don, show a little bit of decency. And every time that I feel that there might be a little bit of decency, maybe there's something in there. Maybe there's something in you. But there's not. There's nothing in you that screams father. There's nothing in you that screams husband, man. You're pathetic. Whether or not you had anything to do with Summer's disappearance, you've done nothing to help. And you're pathetic. That's it. You are not a good person. And stop trying to pretend to be, and stop hiding behind religion to do it. Because it's insulting to people who actually believe in God and go to church and try their best to live right. You're not that person. Find your daughter. Since you claim to know that she's in some hotel room somewhere with some weirdo being rented out, go find your daughter. Don't you think that $2,000 could have been used for something more effective? It's your money. You can spend it how you want, but on crack cocaine to hand it out during Christmas while your daughter's missing and your 3 kids, your other 3 boys are in state's custody because you can't keep it. You can't keep it freaking together long enough for 2 weeks. You can't keep it together long enough. To even have any kind of resemblance of a normal human, of a father, of a just a person in general. What kind of man are you? And I'm talking to you, Don. I could call you on the phone, but I'd rather have this conversation in front of all of our friends. I want to publicly shame you. The same way that you publicly shame everybody else that you talk to when they say that you talk about them bad. Well, I'm telling you why we talk about you bad, Don, because you're not doing anything to help find your daughter. Summer Wells has been missing since June 15th. This little girl's been missing since June 15th, and you have the nuts to come on the air and somebody puts you on a platform for shock value and you start saying the N-word and they act like it's some new exclusive thing, like you haven't been doing this for months. We all know you've been doing it for months. It's nothing new. It's second verse, same as the first. Nothing new here to see. Nothing new. Giabello, thank you so much. Nothing new, guys. It's just the same old Donnie Don. And my Lord in heaven, it's worse than I've ever thought. He gets worse by the day. Where is Summer? We need to put an end to this. And you can do it. You and your family can do this. For once, do the right thing and don't give us that bull crap about how you have no clue what happened. Nobody's buying that anymore. And if those people are buying that, I'd like to sell them some stuff. You know where she is. But yet you don't have the common decency to bring her home because you'll be in trouble for it. You're the worst. And Candace, I got some words for you too. What kind of mother are you allowing this kind of stuff to go on? You know more than anybody, I'm guessing, and you do the least. I tell you, if there was a pair made for each other, I guess it's you too. And too bad we couldn't find a 2x2 square little 2 foot by 2 foot island that we could just leave you guys on, because that would probably be for the best. Where you at, Dawn? Take care of your family, Dawn. Where you at, Candace? Take care of your family, Candace. Or is crack too important? Drugs and alcohol rule your life. Pathetic and weak. It is pathetic and weak. It is shameful. It made me sick. And not in the way that people say you make me sick. You physically make me sick. I hate looking at you. I hate your voice. You've done nothing. You'll do nothing. It's all about you. It's all about preserving your right to live. You want to just hang out and chill out, drink some liquor, smoke some crack, apparently handed out by the truckload. Just hand the crack out by the truckload. I don't have a daughter, but I have children. And I can say unequivocally with most of the people that are watching this show and that are listening from around the world, that you can take my life as long as you give my kids theirs. It's a trade sight unseen. I don't need to read the terms and conditions. Tell me where to sign and we do it right now. And that's not me being a hero. That's just me having unconditional love for somebody that's not myself. You don't know anything about that. You got to love somebody more than yourself to be able to want to do that. And don't tell me that you love someone more than yourself. Because that's just not true. And I tell you that the love and respect that Summer deserves she was not given. Why don't you trade your life for hers? Bring her home. You've had a try, 57 years. It's been a bad 57, but you had 57. You might want to just, C block's waiting for you, brother. And I just don't think that you, Donald Wells, Candace, Bly Wells, I'm starting to question whether you love her at all. But oh my God, you're an embarrassment to her. You embarrass her. You embarrass parents. You embarrass your hometown. You embarrass your state. You're an embarrassment. That's what you are. You're an embarrassment. And you're not fit to take care of children. And the people that defend you, that allow you to spew your hate, shame on you too. Because it's not funny. It's gross. It's sick. It's demented. "110 Ben Hill Road is hell on earth for children. Hell on earth for these children. And not one of them remain in that house, whether that one went missing or the other three were taken. And God knows what happened to your kids in the past, but you don't have one because you're pathetic. You're pathetic. I don't know why you're pathetic. You just are. I just don't. I just, there was a time where I had some hope. Maybe this man will do the right thing. Maybe this man will step up and be a father for once in his life, but he doesn't even have it in him for a second because he's not built that way. He doesn't love anybody more than he loves himself, including his wife. And I didn't know how many other kids. Because I'll tell you what, if I had 4 of my children taken, and I don't even have 4 children, but if I had 4 children and all of them were gone, I couldn't function as a human. I just couldn't. I certainly wouldn't have fight in me to argue with people on the internet. I wouldn't have enough energy to pass out crack in Knoxville. I wouldn't have any desire to do anything but try to get my children back and look for them. And I get when a kid goes missing, there's no handbook how you're supposed to act. But if there was, on page 1, it would be, don't stop looking for your child. Rule 1 of missing children. Do not stop looking for your child. And what have you done? You didn't even start. And don't say that you did. Can you come up with your little brainstorm ideas? I've been trying to brainstorm and thinking, maybe it was the spackle guy because I fired him and that made him want to steal my daughter. Shut up. So stupid. You're a liar. A joke. Rule number 1 of a missing child is you never stop looking for your child. Rule number 1 of a missing person in your family is you never stop looking. Mary Chris looks every weekend. What do, Dawn? You go buy crack and hand it out? There's some really shady characters around here. And I just don't think that, it's it's kind of elusive. What does that mean? It's kind of elusive. It's just kind of elusive. Maybe you could go to CBI and clear things up. No, that's not how that works either. Instead of asking for somebody to bring your child home, why don't you go look? Why don't you go try to find her? I have a theory, though, Dawn. Tell me if I'm wrong. People in the chat, you can tell me if I'm wrong too, but I have a theory. Why would you look for somebody when you already know where they are? Or you already know what happened to them. Why would you do that? Well, it's kind of elusive, brother. It's kind of elusive. The only thing that's elusive is your common sense. The only thing that's elusive is your love for your daughter. And don't come at me and say, I love my daughter more than anything in the world, brother. I don't believe you. Sorry. It's not really something I don't really subscribe to that. It's kind of elusive. Let me remind you of what kind of man we're dealing with.
But, we don't try to do that shit. Like, my fucking poor daughter's been raped several times.
Very much of a trigger warning. Please cover your ears or leave if you don't want to hear this.
But, we don't try to do that shit. Like, my fucking poor daughter's been raped several times by people. My daughter was raped by my first wife's son. As soon as she turned 18, he raped her on her 18th birthday.
Jesus.
Yeah, because he knew once she turned 18, there wasn't a whole lot she could do about it or whatever. On her 18th fucking birthday. Pretty crazy. There was things she could do, but she didn't go crying. She don't go crying and for all attention and blah, blah, blah. She dealt with it. I got to give my daughter props on that.
I got to give my daughter props on that. Well, congratulations, Don. Not only have you failed Summer, you failed your older daughter. That's one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard a human say. And I'm sorry that I had to put you guys through that. But it's sometimes it is proper to center all the moving parts. And we just centered the hell out of that guy. Apparently, Don thinks that once you reach 18, the law doesn't apply. You ever heard of such a thing? One of the nastiest things I've ever heard. Well, honey, I'm really sorry that happened to you, but I gave you props. I gave you props for not going to TBI and the FBI and kind of all looking for all of attention. I got to give her props for that. Just give her props for that. I'll go one step further. I believe Don is a woman hater. I don't think he really likes or respects women, which would fit in right with his young daughter, Summer. How do I know that? Well, his own words say so. Venomous snakes, pythons, vipers, whatever he calls women, he doesn't like them. He doesn't like women, just like his mentor, old scruff nuts, dumb shit. Oh, hey, brother. Women are. If I didn't have women in my life, I'd be a millionaire. They're the downfall of man. They're the downfall, brother. It's just one of those things where if you know, women weren't didn't exist, if they didn't exist, we wouldn't have no problems. He doesn't love Candace. He doesn't care what Candace does, who Candace sleeps with, if Candace leaves him. And Candace doesn't care about Dawn either. They don't care about each other. They don't value their relationship. And when I say relationship, I mean they're roommates at best. At best. Mostly they're enemies. But they're trying their best to stick together as long as they can. It's only been 6 months. How many times have we heard that they're not doing that well? But that's just because that's the way it goes. And let me remind everybody why we're here. There is a 5-year-old their 5-year-old daughter, Summer Wells, is missing now 6 months. And I'm more convinced than ever that the parents don't care at all. I mean, they just don't. They don't care. It doesn't look like caring to me. If that's the way that, if that's the way they care about their daughter, oh man, I have 7 alibis. Candace has none. She's going down. Yeah, she's going down. All right. So are you. I hate to even put that up there, but you're not even wrong. He still hates him. He just uses. I don't think they care about their reputations. Maybe in their own mind, but if they do care about their own reputation, if they do care about their reputations, they don't care that much. Welcome. Exactly. It's the truth. You don't care about your daughter because you know what happened, or else you'd be searching desperately. And don't tell me that everybody grieves in their own way, because there's only one way to deal with a missing child, and that's to look and look and look some more. But you don't even do that. When was the last time you looked? In the Bible, it says that there's no greater love when a man lays his life down for another. And that's just really, that's not even talking about a family member, because that goes without saying. What they're talking about there is a friend. Because you don't have to say that, a father should sacrifice himself for his children. That's just your job as a parent, day one, out the womb. Whatever it takes to protect that child, that's your job. Whatever it takes to insulate them from the world, that's your job. Not to expose them to the world the way that you did. You are supposed to protect your children. And not only did you not protect them, but You lost them. You don't need to read a Bible verse to tell you that you're supposed to protect your children. You don't need some lame tattoo. You don't need a JFK quote or Carpe Diem or whatever. You don't need any of that. Just look at your kids and go, my God, I'll do anything to protect you. I would do anything to protect you. And we have these visions. I have this vision of apologizing to your daughter for you because of your stupid behavior. I want to say, Summer, I'm sorry. To all the missing children whose parents have abused them and not lost them, but contributed to their disappearance by not protecting them, I want to say, I'm sorry for you. We're sorry. It's just, what do we, what, this is the Twilight Zone. Why can't we work with you to find her? Yet everything is a struggle, a battle, it's verbal wrestling. There's nothing about you that is redeeming. You use this situation as an excuse to get high and drunk. You're capitalizing on your daughter being missing because you're saying, I can't deal anymore. I'm just going to drink and smoke and do everything that I can to avoid what you need to do. And Don, I'm sorry that you're not wired that way, because if you were, you would know what true love is, and you'd have your ass out there every day searching for your daughter in between spackling jobs. I get people got to work. I'll never hate on you for that. But the fact of the matter is that you say that you disappeared in Knoxville to buy crack cocaine, $2,000 worth of crack cocaine, and then you hand it out all over the streets of Knoxville. Then TBI comes and says, hey, don't do that. You really shouldn't do that, brother. So what was the goal there? To prove that you didn't sell your daughter? What does that prove other than you're an idiot? What does that prove other than you're dumb as rocks? Well, what I did basically was I went down to Knoxville and bought a bunch of crack cocaine, $2,000 to show them I didn't need it. I don't. I have money. It's kind of extreme. You know what you could have done? You could have been. You could have said, "Hey, I didn't sell my daughter, and that's look at my bank account." That probably would have been adequate. Nobody was asking you to pull out $2,000. Truck your dumbass all the way to Knoxville. Buy crack cocaine and then pass it out like some Saint Nicholas. Ho ho ho. Merry Crackmas. Ho ho ho. Merry Crackmas, everybody. Idiot. One of the dumber things I've ever heard. I've heard some really dumb things too. And that's possibly one of the tops. I'll tell you that right now. Ho, ho, ho. Here's some free crack. You didn't hand out any free crack. What you did was you went and bought $2,000 worth of crack and smoked $2,000 worth of crack in 2 days. It's a lot of crack to smoke, but if there's anybody that can handle it, I'm sure it was you. Nah. Why would he do that? That's a good use of the money. Why would he do that, Ann? You know what I mean? Linda, why would he do that? Of course, he's not going to do that. Ho, ho, ho. Here's some free crack. And his, who did, he looks up to who? Was he talking about? The idiot, Benny? Is that who he was talking about? How he said that, Benny's street smart. Benny ain't any kind of smart. And neither are you. You're both dumb as shit. It'd be like Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder driving a car. It doesn't matter who's doing it. It's going to suck. Dumb as rocks. All these people. This is the dumbest stuff I've ever heard. I mean, it's like hmm. I don't know. Yeah, Doug, I know Stevie Wonder's alive. It wasn't so much about who was alive and who was dead. It was just, the whole blind aspect. That's really what I meant. A brother. Josh, you made my pet rock feel bad. I don't know. Ho, ho, ho. Here's some crack. Ugh. He's a sickening human. Sicker by the day. And the wheels are coming off. How much longer does Don have? Like what I mean by that is like physically. I mean, your body can only take so much, right? And he's pushed it to the limit. That's for sure. Between the drugs, alcohol, and smoking. How much longer? How much longer? I couldn't imagine it being that much. Looks like death is warmed over. You believe in the pickled theory? Is that what you're saying to me? That's the pickled theory, right? That's what it is. Everything you're saying is truth, and I'm glad someone has the strength to say it. Yep, he certainly did. He looks like hell. Those wheels are flat. His days are numbered. 57 might as well be 77. He sold his soul to Satan. Mayflower says not long. I mean, I'm telling you, I just don't think he cares anymore. He's just done. He's kind of made it where, hey, if I go, I go. I'm gonna go out the way I want to go out. And that seems to what it seems is what he's doing. I would agree that he's got the heart of something. Yeah, it's not good. Somebody told Don that he had a big heart the other day, and I was thinking, you mean enlarged and engorged, not big. Keep smoking them cigarettes, drinking that beer. Where is your daughter though? That's the troubling part of this whole thing. I could give a damn less what you do on a daily basis. Don looks like he was rode hard and put up wet. I like that. That was funny. Then he says that he's working with TBI and they take his calls every time. I'm glad they're following Don. That's all I can say. Yeah, he's working real hard with them, passing out crack. If he and Candace don't kill each other, he may die of a heart attack or stroke. Yep. Yes. He said that he was done begging for his daughter. So I'll do it. We'll do it. Don't worry. There are people that care, just not him. Just not him. We care. As it really becomes at some point like banging your head against the wall with this man. And I'm sure tomorrow I'll wake up to either a nasty email from him or I don't know. He'll try to call me through my computer or something. How dare you, brother, talk about me like that? You don't know what the F I've been through. I'll be sure to answer. How dare you talk about me and my family like that? You don't know what we've been through, brother. I'm just trying to make it Saturday so I can pretend to be a Christian. Oh, brother, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm here the whole time, and the wheels on Don's bus stolen like the gas, or is the bus on blocks? I think that it's on wheels, but the wheels are coming off, and that's a fact. That's an absolute fact. You're funny. No, you're funny. Thank you, Mayflower. Your generosity is always appreciated. Thank you so much for being here and being a member. And the bus is parked around back. JBL says, "What idiot would say I'm done begging for my daughter? Basically, you've given up because she's no longer here." Yep. And as we are, yeah, yeah, me too. I do too. Actually, it's funny that you say that, but I we all kind of gather here and to talk about summer, and sometimes I go through spurts when I don't either have anything to talk about with her case, or sometimes I just become overly annoyed and pissed off with Dawn and Candace and their lack of humanity towards their child. And like I said, people ask me all the time, what are you getting out of this? What is it that you get out of this? You could talk about anything else. Why? Why? Because I want to see them burn. I want to see them burn. And I want them to be worried about it. And I want them to know that we're not going away. If I was to drop this right now, I would be abandoning every moral that I have ever had. I will see this through if it takes 20 years. I've made a commitment. Because what Don wants us to do, what he wants me to do, what he wants you to do, what he wants everybody to do is go away. Guess what, bitch? We're not going away. Not going away, dude. It's just not going to happen. That's what he wants. He wants us to go away. It's not our business to him. He thinks that summer is just his and that it's none of our business. Butt out. No thanks. I'll butt in. Josh, what do you think of heels on the ground going to Tennessee police precinct to try to get Dawn and Candace locked up on other charges? Oh, God. What do I think about it? I don't think anything about it. I think it's do whatever they want. Good luck. I'm sure that they'll slap the cuffs on Don and Candace because they asked them to. It's just a joke. I mean, um, everything that these other people are picking up on now, this is just all regurgitated stuff. This stuff has been going on. We know about all this already. This isn't anything new. They're not doing anything new. They do whatever they want. If there's people that believe that they have that kind of pull and they want to donate money to them, that sucks. But what I think is what would be really cool is if they went there to get Don and Candace locked up and then they get locked up. That would be cool. Just do whatever you want, just do whatever. Care about them. I don't care about them. They don't care about me. I don't care about caring about them. Exactly. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I have no information on the body that they found. I don't think anybody does. Thanks, Josh. Will be interesting. It won't be interesting. It'll be stupid. And I'm not gonna watch. Yes, they jumped onto this case. If they all get locked up, yeah, whatever. Do what they want. It's a joke. I will keep my heels at home. Thank you. Do we know when Candace had her total knee replacement? No, probably after one of the kids kicked her in the leg. I don't know. That's not funny, but it is. I mean, that's insane. You decided when to have accountability after you really see it. Only you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you see it, that's true. Does the cold case? Where are we at here? The police already have enough evidence on certain things like probation violations, hauls ass off the street so far, free as a bird. Hopefully, part of a bigger strategy. That's what we're counting on. And as we wait for it, we'll harass Don and tell him what we think of him. Come on, Donnie. Where you at, dude? Where's Summer at? Yeah, I might start spelling my name this way. Not only did I hear it, I listened to it, and it was the stupidest. Nothing against their program; it was them. But I mean, to sit there and let him spew hate and N word left and right. Well, let's have a little bit of accountability and respect for one another. It's not all about running up your chat numbers and it wasn't even an interview. It was a conversation that Don dominated because that's what he does, unless you whip his ass into shape. She likely got drunk. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true. There's nothing. It's just horrible. So glad that all you guys came on and watched my little rant. Don, you're a piece. Candace, you're just as bad, if not worse. Grandis, why don't you help your little granddaughter out? Tell me where you're from on the way out. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for all the new members that joined. Super chats, and this is very, very thoughtful and sweet. Thank you so much. Let's see here. And I have respect for you, Rachel. Thank you. Trying to become a member. Somebody help her out with that. South Africa. I love that. London. Never heard of Indiana. Just kidding. East Tennessee. Tennessee Orange. The USA. Australia. Timbuktu. Is that a real place? I don't think it is. Totally. I mean, that's totally in play. Absolutely. No question about it. Thank you guys for being here. Take care, guys.